Right, Barry the Boss here. Today I got a special guest, Trina Nicole Simons, and she's an author of a book, 21 Ways to Please a Man. I'm very honored to have her on my show today, and we're gonna run through how she came to go to Thailand and how she wrote the book and how her life is right now. How she came to go to Thailand. You're getting feedback. You have to okay. That's okay. So Trina, how are you today? You okay?
I'm good. Long time, Barry.
Long time no see. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a good little while. You know, I haven't seen you for a minute. How's life been?
Everything's good. You know, some different transitions, but everything's going good.
It's going good, yeah.
Yeah.
So what I want to do today is you to rewind me back to when you first came to Thailand, and you run through it baby steps slowly of why you came. Why did you come?
Okay, well, initially, we came to Thailand. My late husband was doing, we were in real estate in Baltimore, Maryland, and had a lot of properties there. And at the same time, we were working on a project in Malaysia. And so we decided to actually, when we got a break in the action a bit, to go out to Malaysia and see about that project that we were invested in. And so before we left, we had like a going away party and invited family and friends. And we had decided or had planned to be away about 6 months from the States, and got to Malaysia, which led to Thailand, and didn't go back. I mean, we decided like we fell in love with like Thailand.
Usually people do.
Yeah. So we were in Malaysia for about a month and a half, and Jeff went over to Thailand. Some friends had invited him, and he said, you know, I'm thinking about us moving over there. And because honestly, we didn't really like Malaysia. A lot of different things going on structurally, and it was a pretty, it wasn't very comfortable. The people weren't very nice. And so we decided to go over there, got over to Thailand, loved it, fell in love with the climate, the food, you know, the people. And, so in the time that we were there, I only came back about one time in 12 years.
12 years.
Yeah, 12 years. So that's how we actually came about doing that, and just found it to be a good life for us. I mean, you know, in America, maybe in a lot of other Western countries, there's a rat race. You know, you run into a job and running home. You don't have time with your family, and the weather on the East Coast, you know, it's from freezing to extremely hot. So,
sorry, Trina, where exactly are you from? Where are you from?
I'm from Maryland.
Oh, Maryland, right.
Prince William County, Maryland. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And carry on what you were saying about the rat race. Go on.
Yeah. So go ahead. Yes. Yeah, so it was a more of a stress-free, as they say in Thailand, sabai. Everything's relaxed. You know.
So when you first came over there, what was your plan for work and making money in business?
Well, we still had some investments in America, some properties and things like that. And I've been a teacher for a long time, a different type of teacher, I'll say. I wasn't really a classroom teacher, but I did performing arts, creative arts and things like that. And I was homeschooling my children as well. So we jumped right into the education sector when we got there. Teaching in the school system there, which was pretty amazing. So I was teaching in the government schools.
Oh, the government school in Thailand, very good.
Doing ESL, English as a second language. I was a teacher, and then I also worked with the international schools. I was an ESL director for one of the international schools, a lead preschool teacher, working with my baby. Yeah. So yeah.
So you was teaching English. You was teaching English in Thailand. That's good. That's brilliant. So you had a home, you had a family, and you had your husband as well.
Yeah.
And how many kids did you have at the time?
Well, when we first came over, I only had 8, Barry.
You already had 8 kids. And how much you got now?
Yeah, and I have 9 now. We
Brilliant,
actually
brilliant.
had my son. Actually, today is his 7th birthday.
Oh, happy birthday! What's his name?
His name is Gal Khan, which
Gal Khan. Happy
yeah,
birthday to you.
yeah, which means ninth person. And in Thailand, number 9 is a very blessed and lucky number. Kind of like in the States, number 7 is a lucky number, but in Thailand, number 9 is. So we actually named him the 9th person, which is like the 9th person who is blessed in the land, which is what his name is.
Very nice, very nice. So basically, you stayed there for like 12 years. So
Yeah.
what happened in between the time when you was before the first 2 years? Bring me through the first 2 years of meeting people and getting to know the Thai people. How did the Thai people treat you?
We received a pretty warm welcome. I think we kind of had one of the advantages I guess we had because we were a large family. They really considered us like Thai people because they come from large families. In that type of society, really nice. There's a lot of family, moms and dads and grandmas and aunts and everything live together. So to see us as a large family, we kind of brought a different air to the foreign population. There weren't a lot of people that looked like us there. Certainly weren't a lot of families as big as ours there. So it made us stand out, and we were happy. We had a nice little family going. So we got really good reception actually, and then good reception. And then being teachers that me and my husband were. In Thai culture, as you know, they highly respect the monks, the teachers, and the parents. So as teachers, we were in that group of people who they really respected.
Right. So, just to hold on one day. Samuel, can you see me? Because he just said he can't see me. But you can see me, can't you? Can they see me on your side? Just to be sure.
Let me go. I think they can now. I think maybe when they first came on.
Okay, that's fine. No problem. So let's carry on. So so that's very nice. That's very beautiful. So the Thai people was very embracive to you then. They were very embracive.
For the most part, they were. For the most part. And I know
your husband personally, and he was a personal friend of mine, and he was a great guy. Everybody loved
Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff, very nice guy. But we carry on. So basically, you was teaching English, and you had your family, and everything was very nice. So what made you stay for such a long time, after 12 years?
I really liked it. And like I said, it was a whole different feel from, the States. And even when I would just fly back and come back to Thailand, I just, when you cross a certain line, you just felt you just breathe, like you just exhale, like you felt that relaxed.
Yes.
And so, we stayed, and because we had basically made a home there. And then my husband was actually sick before we got there. Okay. And that was another reason why we thought that this might be a good place to, spend some time, because the weather was warm. So we didn't have to worry about cold temperatures that we experienced in Maryland. Also the health aspect too, because it's a very healthy place. The food is fresh.
That's correct.
And then just a more relaxed society, because he had been under a lot of stress in working and things like that. So it was a health move as well. And and another thing, because I was a homeschooling mom, it wasn't a great educational opportunity, for my kids to get a global mindset, meet new cultures and people and things like that. So, meeting people like you, Barry.
That's right. Yes, we did see me. Yeah,
a great community.
How did you actually see me? How did you actually see me?
Actually, like the first year, I probably didn't even come down to like Walking Street to that scene at all.
Okay, let's stop it right there for you. Just 1 minute.
Yeah.
In a right way, Thailand is known for adult industry, and people go wild and go crazy. Well, how did you embrace to that? And how was it bringing up your kids around that, avoiding that?
Yeah, well, I guess so. There's the Patio nightlife. There's Walking Street. We didn't live in the beginning, we didn't really live that close to Walking Street. We lived off, and it was a very suburban area, you know, and had just the regular neighborhoods, you know, and swimming pool and a lots of just a regular lifestyle. And then, as you know, in Pattaya, there's a lot to do, lots of family-oriented things to do. I mean, yeah,
you did have a house with a swimming pool, didn't you? You did.
Yeah, house and you know, and going to the mall and going to the movies and going to the water park. So it's a lot of things to do there, you know. So I really wasn't really in that scene for the first couple of years, and so then after a while, I started going out with Jeff, who was into the club promotion and entertainment, you know, helping people, you know, get on DJing and things like that. So that kind of brought me out. By that time, I needed a break. I need to go out.
That's actually how I met him. He taught me a few things in the beginning. Jeff did teach me about the nightclub business, and he was very clued up about that. And that's actually how I met him. But anyway, we carry on. That's how we became friends, because it was giving me the heads up on that. When in the beginning, when I first came, he knew a lot before I came. And you know, but then so Jeff was more. Then you started to go to the nightlife a bit more.
Yeah, well, we you know, we got connected with Helix with the Flex Club.
Okay, the Flex Club, the hip hop club.
And so he was helping, actually, kind of help Helix, you know, get people and you know how popular. Yeah,
shout out to Helix to the Flex Club.
Yeah, shout out to Helix. They're still doing their thing over there.
They're doing their thing. Good.
Yeah, so him getting involved with that and doing promotions and helping people get their entertainment businesses going. So we got into doing that, and I would go out and you know, just kind of relax, chill out, dance, and you know, meet, talk to different, you know, expats and things like that. So
right, just like a social club, and everybody knows each other, like family. Yeah,
it was
like family.
Like family.
That's good. That was like family in there. So you know, you went from that. How did your kids embrace that? How did they keep? Did they like the nightlife, and did they come to the nightlife sometimes?
Well, actually, later on they did, but when they were young, so they weren't really involved in that. We would take them down to Walking Street, kind of during the family hour, like you know, between 6 and like 8, to walk down to Valley High Pier and you know things like that.
The daughter's actually she actually does sing, doesn't she? She does sing, or she raps, and she's a musician.
Actually, several of my kids rap and play guitar and play the keyboard, and they, you know, they were able to get into the music scene a bit and do some gigs around town. They became very well known. I mean, actually, like my youngest son, who's now 7, at the time, he was like 1.5.
Okay.
At the time, my kids were going down to the pier and just singing.
That's good. Just singing for the crowd, yeah?
Yeah, for the Chinese tourists and things like that. And they had a really well welcome. Someone actually came to me and said, "Are you Gal's mother?" I mean, I became like their mom.
Okay. They became more famous.
They became more famous.
Right, than you.
Yeah, so they really loved Thailand and were a bit more felt more at home there, because I mean my children were under 12 when I moved there.
Right.
You know, so I had one son there, but the child before that, she was only 2 months before when we came to Thailand. So they basically grew up there. So they felt more comfortable.
What kind of
there among the Thai people?
What kind of activities did they used to do, like from day to day?
They did singing and just going out like kids, you know, going out to play. And
did they learn the language? Did they learn the language?
Yeah, the older ones are fluent in the language.
Wow, fluent in Thai.
In Thai, and 2 of my oldest daughters, they actually became teachers in the high school. They were the same age and younger than some of the kids at the high school, but because they had American English, they were asked to come and teach. So they actually taught their peers within the school system, which was pretty cool.
Absolutely amazing. Yeah. They were they teaching English?
They were teaching English. They were teaching English while they were students. And we also did we were the originators of the English boot camp there in Pattaya. So we actually had on the school breaks and holidays, we ran English camps for kids. And our first English camp, there were 100 students there. And we taught English through dance and drama and choir and things like that. So it was a creative arts camp. And so they learned English while they were having fun. And so
the Thai kids learned English while they were having fun. Because your kids was fluent in English. So they're fluent in English and Thai.
Yeah. Well, yes, the older ones are fluent in Thai. So yeah, the school that we worked with, the superintendent of schools there, she was a good friend. I actually taught her nieces and nephews, and they saw us, me and Jeff, can you do something with the students on their summer break? And that's how the boot camp came about. And so we ran that boot camp on breaks and holidays, and that went really well.
So, Garrett, moving on. So, say like we go into like 7 years in, you saw the changes in Thailand, Paria, completely. Sort of changes in Thailand compared to when you first came 7 years down.
Yeah, I think they became a bit more developed. The area. I think the Thai people had seen a lot of prosperity. And so they weren't as, let's say, desperate as they were when we first came. Therefore, they had different attitudes. Many of them weren't so friendly to foreigners. Some of them. I saw the demographic change when we first got there. It was mostly white Europeans there. But then as the economy changed worldwide, the economy in Europe changed.
That's correct. Yeah.
And the pound fell. I saw the demographic change from white Western Europeans to Russians. And then there was a lot of Russians there. Then their rupee fell. And so then the demographic changed to like Indians and Chinese tourists.
Wow.
And so all of that kind of changed, which kind of changed the nightlife, which kind of changed the ladies of the night, which kind of changed a lot of things, when the demographic changed, because these type of people want a different thing. The Chinese tourists, they don't really put a lot into the economy in Thailand. So they deal with Chinese restaurants and Chinese sponsored things. So that kind of made things a little different for the Thai businesses as well. So a lot of different changes happened.
Right. So a lot of changes within the 7 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then moving on again. Let's get on to your book. You got a book called the 21 Ways to. Yes, listen to your book. That's your book. Oh, great. Super great. Super nice. So just tell me, what made you decide? Run through me. What made you decide to write a book, and how was the process?
Okay. Well, I've always wanted to write a book. I've been a freelance writer for many years, and I have had a lot of books in my head and that I wanted to do. But this particular book came about after it was 2018, and Jeff had passed, and I was contacted by a friend that I've known for like 24 years.
Okay.
And he was a friend of both me and my husband. We were church ministers 20 years ago or so. But I had put a post out on Facebook, and it said, give a man what he wants, and he will give you everything that you need.
Okay.
And, so I sent that post to my friend, and he said, 21 ways to make your woman 21 ways to make your man happy by Tarina Nicole Simons, New York bestseller. And I was like, what does that mean? He said, that's your book. He said, you need to write that book. He said, Tarina, because you know what you're talking about. Right. He had seen me with my husband all those years, and just, being a wife, a supportive wife and things like that. He said, you really know what you're talking about.
Right.
So I was like, wow, I never thought about writing a book like that. And, but so then began the process. And in the process of time, he and I were talking. I would collaborate with him. And I did a lot of research. I was watching YouTube videos and reading a lot about what men want and what they need and what they've been missing and things like that. And so thus became this book, 21 Ways to Please Your Man.
Wow.
And yeah, so that's really how it came about.
It's pretty amazing. I mean, so you'll say you had 2 more kids, plus you've written a book, plus you've educated, plus you. So the 21 ways. What's the best way to buy the book? Someone wants
you can go to Amazon.
You go to Amazon. I put it up.
Yeah, you can go to Amazon.
Right, you can buy the book there.
You can buy the book on Amazon.com. And what's interesting is when I tell people about this book, 21 Ways to Please Your Man, everybody says, well, what about 21 Ways to Please Your Woman? So
well, I didn't actually read the book and think about that, but yeah, go on. I didn't read the book, but it was a very good book. It's a very good book, but yeah, go on. And maybe you can do part 2. No, I just thought of a part 2, but go on.
Yeah, so definitely. So as I told you, my friend, his name is Samuel Britton. Now my boyfriend.
Oh, that's very nice. Very nice. Yeah, very nice.
We're actually working on that particular book. 21 Ways to Please
How does that work? Where does he live? Does he live in Thailand or does he live in America?
He's in America. So actually, very interesting that you asked that because like this, we're on split screen talking to each other.
Right. Okay. Okay. So you have the one-on-one through split screen. Very nice.
Right. Shout out to Facebook for that. So.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Very good. How did you meet him?
Yeah. Okay. So, like I said, I've known him for 24 years. And we actually met at our church back then in Baltimore, Maryland. And so at that time I was married. Jeff and I were newly married, and Sam was also married. And we were all fellow ministers in the church. And so we ended up moving again, and then going overseas and things like that. And so we reconnected after Jeff had passed away because, he had called to see how we were doing because he knew my family and was good friends with Jeff, and we were all friends.
Your husband did actually pass away. How was it when your husband passed away? Was it a tough time you went through?
It was. Like I said, when we moved to Thailand, Jeff's been sick for a while. I think it was back he had diabetes for about 10 years, maybe before we even moved to Thailand.
Right.
And so with that, and then he ended up having congestive heart failure and just a series of events, a series of illnesses. And so every time he would, he would have these bouts because, believe it or not, many people didn't know Jeff was even sick. You know how Jeff was. He was always,
very upbeat, very happy, very
upbeat. And so when he wasn't upbeat, he wouldn't go out. And a lot of times people didn't even know that he was sick. Right. And little by little, maybe 2 years before he died, he began to slow down a bit. And you'd notice him limping more, and people they didn't even know that he had been sick. And so the last year, I think 2018 is when he died, in September 2018, but like in January, February, March, the first quarter, he started getting really sick.
Okay.
And sicker than I had really seen him in all that time. And I was really the primary caretaker for him. And so as he began to dwindle, it really started dawning on me that he really might die this time.
He might pass.
And so after that, like I said, he died in 2018 in Thailand. After a while, I decided that it'd be a good idea for me to get some counseling.
Right.
So I actually did online grief counseling.
Okay.
And that helped me tremendously. I had a couple friends that contacted me from my past. Sam was one of them.
Right.
High school friends, 2 high school friends. And so it kind of brought me back to like myself, it's not over. Right. And I had kids to raise. And so I was in it to win it, and being a prayer person, a spiritual woman, I was like, God, what we going to do now, And so in counseling, I think I was really looking for two answers, or 2 things I saw counseling for. One was grief, because I realized that I was grieving, even though I felt prepared for him to die. I did need some counseling through that, but also like what now? Because I knew Jeff since I was 18.
Right.
And we were married for 25 years, but I knew him all through college. So I really knew him like 30 years.
30 years.
So that was, you know, from 18 to like 49. And so I was like, well, what now? Because he was really, really a part of my whole adult life, you know? So yeah, when you lose someone so pivotal in your life, it's like, now what do you do? So I was looking for direction. Right. And so I got a lot of help from my friends, and Sam, you know, really helped me, and in doing things like getting this book written was amazing.
So you wrote the book after he died, after he passed?
I wrote it after he died. Yeah, I wrote it actually. I wrote in 30 days. He died in September. I wrote it in December. I wrote it in 30 days. Now, it took a while to edit it and chop and add and delete, you know, what I wanted to do. And it actually published 11 months later. It actually published November of 2019. So in less than a year, I had it done.
In less than a year.
So, yeah, a lot of things that I had put on hold, I was able to do. Like I just got my master's degree, for instance.
You just got your master's degree?
Master's in education, yeah.
Master in education. So, wow, you've done a lot of things in your life already. So just tell me, what is the future then? What's the future for Trina Nicole Simpson?
Well, I plan to do a lot of things. I plan to definitely write more books, which I'm working on. And, you know, I want to be an author. You know, I will be a best-selling author.
That's right. Yes,
I plan to get married again.
Okay, very nice.
And live out some of these 21 ways.
That's right. That's right.
I actually also, in a lot of things happened, but I actually, this year, no, 2019, I was actually cast in a movie with Spike Lee. I'm not sure if you know, he's an American director, Black American director, very famous, legendary in America.
Spike Lee. I think most people know Spike Lee. Yeah, Spike Lee. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in his newest movie.
Wow, you were in his movie. You were in his movie. Yeah. Well, okay. Yeah. How did that come about? Yeah. Sorry, how did that come about for you to meet him?
Yeah, my daughters have some connections with Black community in Bangkok, and they do a lot of casting and movies in Bangkok. And so they were looking for a woman who was at least 45, Black woman. And I tried out for the role and I got it. And so his movie is called The Five Bloods, The Five Bloods. And it's a Vietnam piece. And it's about 5 Black soldiers who fought together. And one of them apparently got killed. And I played his younger sister. And so in the scene that I'm in, me and my older sister are receiving his body back to the States. The whole official, receiving with the flag and stuff like that. So, but I was cast in the movie, and I have a very a good scene where like the camera's on me and I'm crying and, you know, all of that. So it was amazing for that to happen. And a lot of things like that happened to me. And I don't know. I'm blessed, you know, God blessed me. And, but that movie should be coming out, I think this year. So.
But Trina, I think you're an amazing person. You've done amazing things and you've jumped over a lot of hurdles. How does people get hold of you? This is your Instagram. I'll put the Instagram up there. What's the best way to get hold of you if they want to contact you? Yes, you can contact me on Instagram at Trina Nicole. And also maybe you can put my email up, jsimonst@yahoo.com. Okay. And I'm also on Facebook. And you also under my phone. And if they want to buy the book, they can obviously buy the book at Amazon. And if they want to, you can go to Amazon.com, and also when you go there, you can actually read a chapter or two for free online. That's cool. You can open the book and read. Yes. So check me out. And, So check her out, lads. Check her out, guys. You know, she's an amazing woman. She's done amazing things, and she's actually written a book. And I'm going to let you go. You know, it was nice to have you on the show, Trina, and maybe we could do it again sometime on more about your book. And
thank
you take care.
Okay, thank you so much, Barry. Good to see you again.
My love. Good to see you. Take care. Take care.